And because I feel like it's so important for people to understand that on social media, yeah, it's the highlight reel. You see what's happening right now, but you don't always see what happened before that or what leverage someone has to catapult them to where they are right now.
Or the grit they had to develop.
That too. Like, you don't see that. You don't see the behind the scenes. And that's why I love social media and podcasts, because I feel like we get to know people on a deeper, more intimate level than, say, maybe 5 years ago.
Welcome to Meredith for Real, the Curious Introvert. That's me. I'm Meredith, and I collect people. For real. You never know who I'm going to meet next. So come listen as I put my curiosity to good use. Every week, I'll introduce you to someone new, and we'll talk about ways to stay curious and grow. Big thanks to our location sponsor, Court of DeLuna, Pensacola's newest event space, and to Delta Life Fitness in Pace, Florida, the 30-minute women's group fitness plan you can actually stick with. If anyone could have made accounting glittery, it would have been her. But after receiving her degree, she went a different direction. Life threw another curveball when she became a single mom. And fast forward to today, her and her husband work real estate together, have 2 kids, and she is the host of the Life for Me podcast. Country bumpkin, glam girl, doer of all the things, Jordan English, everyone.
Oh, thank you. That was great.
Good. I was hoping at least it would be accurate. At most, it would be good.
Oh, yeah. So accurate. So good.
Perfect. And I love that you and I met in part with your podcast. Do you remember when you held that wine night thing and I brought you my phone and I was like, I don't know how to do the thing. And you were like, what do you mean? And I said, well, there's a drawing if I subscribe to your podcast, but I don't know how to do podcasts. How do I listen? That's how long I've been listening to podcasts.
Since that day.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That's great.
I think, yeah, yours was the first podcast I'd ever listened to.
That's such an honor. That makes me so happy.
Doesn't it?
And now you have your own podcast.
Now I'm stumbling along and making it work. It's a great adventure. So, but you seem to be more of a naturally outside of the box thinker.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like my dad, growing up, his favorite word still to this day is improvise. So like everything's figure outable. So you just have to push through it and make it work.
Is your mom like that?
No. My mom is like, there's a brick wall and I'm done. So yeah, I definitely get that from my dad.
It's funny that you say that because we were just talking off mic about that sort of mentality, the 2 different contrasts, and how you are more of like, yeah, let's just do it and it'll be great and wee.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I couldn't make a decision as a kid on which candy bar I wanted at the grocery store. I'd be frozen and end up in tears.
Oh no.
Isn't that so sad?
So what was your favorite candy bar?
I think I started to just go for Snickers.
Has all the things.
Because it's all inclusive, but I'm actually a huge fan of Heath bars.
Really? Like toffee? I was never a fan of those until when I was in high school, and my best friend Madison, her mom would make toffee Heath bar brownies.
What?
But she would like crumble up Heath bars on top of the brownie, like as it baked. That's when I became a fan.
I need that in my life. Yeah.
So yummy.
But even with the chocolate and the toffee, I wasn't a decision maker, and I would overthink and overanalyze. And so I admire people like you that can go with the flow and just be good naturally, because it's something that I had to be so intentional about. And so like I remember as a kid, I went to an audition for a commercial, and that's part of what I do now. But I was so frozen that it just wasn't ever going to work at that stage of my life. So I do remember what it was though.
What?
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh my gosh. That is terrifying.
Well, it was a cartoon. I won't sing it, but I do remember it.
Oh, gracious.
I remember the song.
This was a commercial?
Yeah, it was a commercial for the cartoon. It was something local. I went to the mall to do it.
Oh, okay. Fine.
And I had props, and I sang Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and it didn't go great, I will say. It did not go great. So
that's awesome.
But I've had to take that pragmatic nature and that sort of anxiety and funnel it into something productive, whereas you have that natural inclination towards doing and productivity.
Right. And to a fault, really, because I drive my mom crazy because she's more like you, like very detail oriented. She wants to see all of her choices. Like if we go shopping and we try on clothes, she has to try on everything. And then she picks like her top 3, and then she has to try on everything again. Then she has to do like one more loop through the store to make sure that she didn't miss anything. I'm like, just grab the dress and come on because it fits. But I'm the type of person that I leap before I look. And so I've had to do the opposite. I've had to kind of like rein myself back in. Like, okay, Jordan, let's actually think about this for half a second before we just are like, yes, let's go do it. So I think that's why we get along so well, is because we're so different. So is someone in your life like that? Is your husband more like go with the flow?
Well, do you ever try to analyze the people closest to you and it doesn't work?
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Constantly. I have tried to figure out, where he fits in the personality profiles and, the Enneagram and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's I can't quite figure him out, which maybe is why we're so great together.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's constantly intriguing. But I do know that we're a good fit. I like to say I have paragraph problems. Garrett gives me sentence solutions.
Ooh, I like that.
So he is my anti-overwhelm. So he's pretty good at that, and I'm sure I'm good for him too.
In some way.
I'm sure it benefits him in some form or fashion as well. But you and your husband have like business ventures together. Y'all are in real estate together. What's that like?
It's amazing. So Bo and I kind of fell into this business together. So he had been in real estate for 8 years before I came into the real estate picture. That's a long story. But basically, I didn't have any other choice because we were about to have our son, and you can't get a job 30 weeks pregnant. It's just not going to happen. So he was like, please come work for me. That just like made my insides like hurt because I had been working so hard for independence. But I was like, you know what, whatever, like, let's do this. So I was helping him with social media and all the admin stuff that he just really didn't have time to do. He was just so overwhelmed. And then at some point, I realized that I needed to have my license as well, because having a license, talking on the phone to people about contracts and negotiating things like that, it just opens the doors to a lot more. And he kind of resisted me on that. It's double dues and, double paying for this and double for that. And he was like, I just don't understand why we both need to have a license. And then for me, it became like an equality thing. And I was like, I'm getting my license. We are becoming a team. I cannot be your assistant. Like, I cannot do it. And because growing up, my mom always said, be independent, never depend on a man, like all that stuff. Just have your own. And so it was really like an internal struggle for me to not have my own career, my own whatever. So I just kind of made my own thing within what we were already doing. And once we got married and I got my license all in 1 month. And so I changed my name, got my license. We got married. The next month we were number 1 in our market center. It's like the stars aligned, and that's where we were meant to be. And we love working together. Like, we're so awesome together. But we had to be very careful not to become business partners and roommates and like the keeper of the children. So we navigate that through like weekly date nights. We have trips, and we just make time for each other.
So it sounds like his inclination towards being pragmatic and your inclination towards, we'll call it woo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing to call it.
Woo. I'm sure it's a thing somewhere. Balance each other out and like make y'all work in a way that is not just like, oh, well, that makes it work, but it actually makes it thrive because you have, you're not just businessy,
right?
And you're not just woo, and
okay.
you don't live unintentionally. You guys have like a plan and strategy. You have relationship strategy.
Oh, for sure. You have to, because if you don't, like, I have a Start Today journal by Rachel Hollis, and so you write down the 5 things you're grateful for every day, and you write down 10 dreams that you want to make happen as if they've already happened. And one thing that I write down every day is I pursue my husband, because every day I want to pursue him, to show him affection, to build him up, to just be that person that he needs, no matter what business thing I'm working on, whatever the kids are doing. Like, I want him to know that he's important in my life. So I have to write that down every day, which is a strategy, which goes into, making us be really, really successful in business and in life, because we make time for each other every single day.
That's so cool. I like listening to your podcast about those different strategies.
Oh, yes.
Because it's, I think people, when you know someone that is more woo,
yeah,
you maybe wrongfully assume that they don't have any of that.
Like strategy, or like, okay, I get you.
Yeah. If you were, like, what do you think people misunderstand about you as a person?
So part of the reason why I started my podcast is, like, if you just meet me, like right now, you have this misconception of like, oh, you're 26, you have a husband, 2 kids, you have this business, life is just so good for you. And while all of that is true, from the outside looking in, it's easy to assume that it's always been that golden and glittery and all of those things, but if you just look at me, you probably wouldn't understand that, like, I have an accounting degree, that I will work harder than anyone, like all day long, every day, for my family. And so the biggest misconception is I had to go through a lot to get to where I am right now. So going back to the podcast, is I use that opportunity to share, like, how I got from point A to point B being right now. And because I feel like it's so important for people to understand that on social media, it's the highlight reel. You see what's happening right now, but you don't always see what happened before that, or what leverage someone has to catapult them to where they are right now.
Or the grit they had to develop.
Mm-hmm, that too. Like, you don't see that. You don't see the behind the scenes. And that's why I love social media and podcasts, because I feel like we get to know people on a deeper, more intimate level than, say, maybe 5 years ago.
So who are your favorite podcasts that you listen to on the regular?
Oh, gosh. So Rachel Hollis is, like, number one. I listen to her Rise podcast, which is more businessy. Mm-hmm. And then her Rise Together podcast with her husband. So that's where I get a lot of my tools for, like, mine and Bo's relationship, kids, things like that. And then I love Jenna Kutcher. Have you listened to Jenna Kutcher? It's the Gold Digger podcast. I love her podcast. She has a lot of great information. It's a lot different style. It's almost scripted. So I feel like she writes it beforehand and then, like, reads it.
So it's a solo.
So, well, a lot of them are solos. Some of them are interviews. She kind of goes in between. But they're so far in advance that I feel like it's more like learning. It's not keeping up with someone, if that makes sense.
Oh, I never thought of podcasts as keeping up with someone, but it's true, because I feel like I know some of the people that I listen to. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a huge fan of Sean Stevenson, the Model Health Show. Oh. Dude, Bo would love this show.
Ooh.
Your husband?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all about health. This guy had a health crisis in his 20s. And
oh, yeah, Bo would eat that
and
up.
So he talks about, different health things, and he does interviews, and the interviews are often with people who are authors. And so that leads me on a rabbit trail of the next book I'll be reading.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy that. And he's from the Midwest, as am I. So, it's always a little connection. And then, Joe Rogan.
Oh my gosh, Bo is constantly watching Joe Rogan. I'm like, can you turn that off, because there's so many F-bombs. I'm like, babe, we're in the house. Like, can you watch that later?
The mother effing Cash App. Like,
yes.
It cracks me up.
Oh my gosh. So one of them that I actually watched with him was the guy, it was like somebody in the military that saw aliens.
Okay.
Have you watched that one?
Not yet.
He talks about a Tic Tac.
Ooh, that sounds familiar.
Okay, so it was like he was in the Navy or something, and he
yes,
and he saw like a Tic Tac, like beep, beep, beep,
yep,
around.
I did see that one. Yeah,
and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then there was like another dude that's like building a documentary and it's like interviewing all these people and they're like fact checking. Like, I was like, does he always do this? He was like, oh yeah, he has a guy that like will pull stuff up on the TV. I'm like, this is interesting. And this is why his podcasts are 2 hours long.
Oh,
or multiple hours.
3.
Yeah. It's crazy that people watch that. And I love it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bo will sit there and watch it all day long. I just can't, because I play podcasts often when the kids are in the car, so I can't do that one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it might have to be like an after-hours podcast.
After-hours podcasting live. So were you a big podcast listener before you started a podcast?
Yes. Obsessed.
And so what made you go from that to, I'm going to do my own podcast?
Great question. So I started down the rabbit trail of personal development, and I just started consuming so much content, whether that was like Instagram, Facebook, and then I discovered podcasts, and then I just went down the rabbit trail of podcasts, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I can learn so much. I can learn how to do online marketing. I can learn how to like support my marriage. I can learn how to be a mom. I can learn how to be a business owner, like all these things. Mindset, that was probably the biggest thing. And so to go from like being obsessed with listening to podcasts, I was like, I have a story to tell. And then I got to thinking like, how would I set it up? How would I do this? How would I do that? And how would I make it my own? And actually we were going to have a real estate podcast. Bo and I were together and we met with Ramsey and he like gave us this microphone and we're like, what do we do with that thing? And yeah.
He's laughing right now.
Oh yeah. And so we were going to do that, and we started talking into it, and Bo was just, like, not into it at all. And I was like, well, I'm going to have my own podcast then, and it's going to be about this, and I'm going to have pink and sparkles on my logo, and da-da-da-da-da. And so I just got crazy obsessed with it. And so once we figured out, like, where it was going, because I didn't want it to be just for moms or just for this or just for that, or about parenting or about business. You know, I wanted it to be whatever I wanted it to be. I didn't want to paint myself into a corner because I like to talk about everything. And so Ramsey and I sat down and we're like, what can we call it? And we were like, I was saying like, this is for me because this is my creative outlet. This is that. And I wrote down the podcast for me. And he was like, ooh, let me think on that. And I was like, okay. So we kept like going back and forth about it. And we would ask other people, like, what do you think about this? And that's what it was originally called, was the podcast for me. And then about a month or two later, I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't just a podcast. This is a whole brand. And then it transformed into the life for me. Like, this is the life for me. It's not for anybody else. It's not for my mama. It's not for my daddy. Like, it's not for, I'm not living this life for Bo. I'm not living it for my kids. I'm living it for me. And whenever, like, my cup is full and I get to do these things that set my soul on fire, then my cup just overflows into everyone else.
Yeah, that's funny that it kind of circles back to that independence. And I really relate to the podcast being an evolution. This is our 8th podcast.
Like, which one are we on?
What are we on?
Yeah.
So we do 4 at a time. We do the little batch work thing. And the hardest question for me to answer in the beginning was, what is your podcast about? Because what had happened was I got into podcasts, so I started listening to yours, and our friend was really into podcasts, and so he was always listening to Joe Rogan. And I only heard Joe on YouTube. So that's why my podcast is on YouTube as well, because in part, that's how I discovered, like, oh, at least that certain podcast, at least Joe Rogan's podcast. And plus with the modeling stuff, I felt like that would be a useful tool, you know, to...
Oh, yeah.
And also a good way to interact with listeners. And I wanted to, it was important to me to include that. And then about one day after listening to several different podcasts, I was like, this is how I am. Like, I do this every day and no one is recording me.
Yes. Well, we had that conversation at my house. And I was like, I wish we had microphones right now. Whenever you were talking about how you got into Mary Kay and how you did this and how you did that. And I was like, why are we not recording this?
Right.
Because it would have been great.
Yeah. And then about a week later, Garrett said, hey, I found someone more curious than you. And I said, who? Because he's always like, why do you have so many questions?
Like, calm it down.
He's like, I think Joe Rogan asks more questions than you. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I love it.
He said, I think you'd be a really good podcaster. And then about a week after that, y'all did principles of podcasting in town. And then I attended and realized there's people to help with the tech part of it, because that squelches my creativity. And I thought, I could do this. I think I'd like to do this. But it's been an evolution of figuring out what the podcast is about. And it's basically an elaborate exercise in not caring what people think and self-discovery.
Oh my gosh.
And it's been such a treasure so far. I realized that, the people in my life, one of the things that they all have in common is when I ask them kind of before the podcast, what's a skill you're good at? Do you know most of them say ideas? Hey everyone, it's time to take a quick minute and show gratitude to our sponsors who make this show possible and give you some special offers. Delta Life is ladies group fitness in Pace, Florida, and I've been a member since 2016. I get bored super easy, and I am great at talking myself out of exercise, like expert level 5,000. So having a class to show up that's different every time has been winner, winner, chicken dinner for me. And with it just being 30 minutes, there's really no reason not to go. Plus, they do fun social stuff like Christmas pajama parties, little black dress events, and challenges. You can get your first class free to try it out. You can even come with me. There's no annual contract. It's all fitness levels, free childcare. Plus, if you mention the Meredith for Real podcast on your first visit, you'll get a free 5-pack of classes, so you can really see if you like it. Check them out at deltalifefitness.com. And also thank you to Court of DeLuna Event Space. I freaking love this place. We shoot the show in the groom's room, which is complete with a pool table and all of the awesome memorabilia in the background that you see when we're shooting. But there is also a bride's room with 5 individual lighted vanities. Big deal if you're getting ready with your bridal party. There's a huge indoor space and outdoor courtyard with jumbo Jenga and checkers. The whole place can do events for up to 1,000 people, and it's in downtown Pensacola. There's an on-site coordinator, and I'll tell you, she did my wedding, so she's the real deal. You've got to see all their pictures of the cool events they've done and the community events that they have coming up. It's not just weddings, it's car shows, corporate events, 80s theme, New Year's party, masquerade ball. You can see everything on their Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Court of DeLuna.
Really?
How freaking cool is that?
That's
Ideas.
So cool.
My friends are idea makers. And I was like, wow, that must be something that I value and am projecting out and attracting people with ideas. And I think, wow, that's so cool, because I would never recognize that pattern in my tribe.
Oh, yeah,
of
for sure.
Idea makers. And when I listen to our conversations now of me and my friends, we're constantly having ideas. And I thought, yeah, that fits. We could set up, instead of a lemonade stand, we could have an idea stand.
Oh, yeah,
25 cents. I'll give you an idea.
I can fix you. Come on down.
Exactly. So I want to give the listeners some tips on developing curiosity as an asset, because asking those incessant, sometimes questions, and definitely thinking outside of the box has led to so many beautiful relationships and cool experiences and life lessons. And I would hate for people to miss out on those because they're just not asking questions. So tip number 1, and I'd love for you to add to this, is don't assume anything. Questioning the way things have always been never leads to always leads to innovation. If you ask, why do we do it this way? Can we be better? It always leads to something better. And asking a person you would otherwise label or put in a box, if you ask about them, it could lead to an amazing business relationship or just a friendship, and you would have missed out on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love that so much. So when I was little, my mom would always say, don't assume anything, because you know what assume spells. And I was like, what does assume spell? And of course she would do the thing. And I growing up, I have that in me every single day. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't assume just because things are always been this way that's the way they have to be. And I constantly have that in my life, because, like, for example, meeting you, like, you're gorgeous. and like beautiful. And like the first time I met you, you were like all pinned up and had like a top, like a beautiful ballerina bun. And then like I added you on Facebook, and it's like you like beachy hair, no makeup. And I was like, wait, are these the same person? And you're like, yes, like I have different versions of me. And I was like, that is so amazing that you can be like one person, like professionally and all this, and then you can just kind of be a chameleon and be like your true self. And like I love making sure that I find out who people really are. And that's, again, why I have a podcast, because I love digging and I love asking questions.
It's such a good asset, and I think it's a skill we should all develop. The second tip, and I so thought of you when I thought this tip, how to develop curiosity as an asset. Hang out with a 5-year-old.
Oh my gosh, yes. Avery, holy moly. So Avery's my daughter. She's now 6, and she talked about incessant questions, like constant. I'm like, Avery, please just stop. But she wants to know about everything, and everything is spectacular, and she wants to know. And I was like, hey, baby, like we can't do that, because somehow we got into the subject of paying bills. And
with a 5-year-old.
She wants to know the things. And I was like, well, baby, did you know that we pay for our house? And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, the water that comes out of the sink, we pay for that. And then the car that we drive, we pay for that. And then we also pay something called insurance. And she was like, what? I mean, just mind blown. And just to see like her take in the world, like I feel like that's such a magical thing to be around children, is because they see things without limitations, without any guidelines or preconceived notions they just see it the way that they see it. And whatever comes up, comes out. And I love it. And now Benjamin, my son, he is 2. He turned 2 in June. And he's starting to get to that way, like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, truck. Ooh, school bus. Like, everything's like, whoa. And so Ben is Bo's first child, so he's my second. And to watch Ben, like, it's the cutest thing ever, because he was like, he doesn't know what that is. I'm like, baby, he doesn't know anything. He's a baby.
Yeah.
Like, he's discovering everything. Like, ooh, what's this penny? Like, and so it's just magical.
But to borrow a child's perspective can help you. If your curiosity is stuck, I mean, just volunteer at I can't volunteer at a daycare. That would not be legal, probably. He's got to pass background checks.
Oh.
But you could probably like hang out with someone who has kids and borrow their perspective. And then the last tip is to get off of your phone and like look around, because you end up making eye contact with people and you might even talk with them. When I wrote this,
something.
Yeah. You know what's funny, though, when I wrote this, I thought every introvert that hears this will be crawling in their skin.
Are you an introvert?
I get my energy from being alone mostly, although I've been reflecting on this a lot lately, and I think I'm less introverted than I used to be. My husband is very much an extrovert, so you and him would be kindred spirits in that regard. Like, if Garrett wants to get energized, he'll go out. Downtown, let's do this. And although he is either absorbing more of my qualities or dialing it down as he gets older, verdict's still out, not sure. And I seem to be absorbing a little bit more of his qualities, and but on a deeper level, seeing the value of friendships, because I was always like lone wolf. So, yeah. But
and I just had that conversation about friendships, because I was like, I go to all these events and do all these things. I was like, do you just not want to? Or do you like not, you feel like you shouldn't? And he was like, no, I'm good. I was like, all right. Because I don't want to like impose, like, go make friends, honey. Like, go do go be out if he doesn't want to be out. Because I love it. Like, I love seeing my friends. I love going and meeting people, hugging necks. And so I didn't want to like force that on him, because he is introverted.
Yeah.
But
so he can just Google things. That's what I was thinking, like how to be curious when you're an introvert. You can just Google stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then decide what your extroverted outings are. But it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. So, I'm so grateful that my curiosity led to me meeting you.
Yes.
Leading us to doing this Swapcast, which is my first Swapcast ever.
Yay!
So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah, girl, that's a wrap. High five. Woo! Woo!
Thanks for listening. If you liked this episode, share it with your friends and leave a review. You can also watch the episodes on YouTube. There's hidden curious caches in each episode, and the first 2 people to find them win a prize. So be sure to get my emails for clues and other insider perks at meredithforreal.com.